2 bars or 16 SCVs, and he has 6 more than he needs. And you can just tell that by the amount of workers that are bouncing around from mineral patch to mineral patch. While up here, he's undersaturated. Oh yeah, that's decent saturation, but over here is appalling saturation. So I just feel he could transfer some over. He's done good macro in that he's gotten up good econ, but he's not spending it as efficiently as you could. Because even though BurntShusi does have some tanks up, if you were to send like 50 Marines up here, which Grol can easily afford with 2k minerals, then that would deal some damage, and with Grol's income being 1500, you could pretty much do that every couple of minutes if you put down like 6 barracks with reactors. So I mean, he's done good strat, he's done good things, he's expanded well against a previous player he's played against who has turtled, but I just don't feel that he's done everything he could with his minerals. And I was on the Starcast vent earlier, and we were talking about what upgrades have been doing. What do you guys think about upgrades? Are they worth it? And you need to consider the unit at hand. I mean, for a battle cruiser, something where every attack is getting 1 extra damage, and you're attacking 5 times a second, then you're doing 5 extra damage per second. So for something like that, it's obviously worth it. But are there any units that you guys just ignore upgrades for? Hellion. Not sure what that's for. I mean, yeah, he does have some Marines, but the battlecruiser can quite happily deal with that. I think this is going for a 4th expansion there, Grol. Not bad. Good macro, as I said, but just not doing as much with his minerals as he could. And here comes the push, I think. He's done no upgrades, which I don't really agree with 20 minutes into a game. BurntShusi's on 1 vehicle, 0 for infantry, and 0 for air, so upgrades are good, and I feel that they're both just ignoring it, in my opinion. What's happening over here? Good use of the Yamato cannon, I guess. A bit excessive in my opinion. Killing a bunker, I would have actually targeted the Thors, because they're dealing splash damage against bunker units. I mean, this is pretty much GG because you've got not much that can deal with this. Here he goes. Those Vikings made a real big difference to the fight because they were able to take out Banshee than any other Vikings, and I think that's really good army composition. The 1 Raven makes sure you've got detection and maybe some Ravenish abilities. Now, personally, I think what he should have done is gotten all his workers here and just repaired the Thor. He obviously tried to do that in the end, but unsuccessfully. Seeker missile, so he was intending to use these Ravens, and that's GG. So I think this was a good game. I think BurntShusi maybe turtled a little too much for his own good. Both players, I felt, had a lack of scouting, and given that Grol has 200 energy, scans wouldn't have really been a problem. And while Grol did have the upper hand in that he had a bigger econ, he could have gone faster swapping of tech to the right thing to counter the units that BurntShusi was building. And obviously 200 energy on orbital commands is never really a good idea. Even if he just used it to make sure he never got supply capped or something. His production in combat wasn't quite as good. If we go back, and you've got really good production here just before the push, and then if we fast forward a bit, Now, they're both doing pretty good production. I mean, everybody seems to have this problem, and it's because it's hard to micro and macro at the same time, but I mean, that's what the pros do, and if you do it, you get really good. And about at this point, he's adding a few things in here, but I don't think anything gets added to the production queue after this. No. So everything's just wearing down, nothing's being added to production queue, which I don't feel is quite as efficient as it could be. Of course, this is GG at this point. But I mean, just a few tiny mistakes here, which I feel quite a few of the Starcraft community has, and hopefully we can all fix and become a better, stronger player community. The obviously worker saturation, big deal. Oversaturation, good saturation. Undersaturation, no saturation. Then you've got battle cruisers. I'm not the biggest fan of battle cruisers, but they worked out in this case. I'm not a big fan of most Terran units, to be honest. I hate Terran. That's kind of cool. Anyway, off track. Thanks for watching, guys. This was a replay which I thought was rather interesting because they both made a few tiny little mistakes which could be rectified, and this is one of the reasons why I became a commentator, because I wanted to learn these mistakes so that then I could spot them in my own gameplay and then become a better player, which is hopefully what I can then in turn help you guys do. So please rate, comment and subscribe. Peace out.